With Afghanistan's 2014 presidential election entering its final week, we set off to follow one of the leading candidates during his final push for support during a campaign stop in the fabled Panjshir Valley.
We're going to Panjshir, and we are going to attend a rally of Dr. Abdullah in Dashtak area, which is kind of like new capital town of Panjshir, where they have this governor house and the police chief office, also the other administrations. So it's kind of like 2 hours drive from here now, where we are.
The road between Kabul and our destination was filled with people on their way to the rally or waiting to cheer on the candidate, in this case one of the frontrunners, named Abdullah. The deep gorges and high peaks of Panjshir have been used to turn the valley into a stronghold, first against the Soviets in the 1980s and later against the Taliban. When American and other allied special forces invaded Afghanistan after the terror attacks of September 11th, they found support among the hardened fighters of the Panjshir. On this day, the dramatic scenery was the backdrop for a welcome home of sorts for Abdullah, who was seen as a native son after joining the Mujahideen during the jihad against the Soviets.
Despite threats of violence and concerns over fraud, Afghans have been standing in line for hours to receive their voter registration card and have been traveling for miles to attend rallies just like this one, where they express support for the candidates that they hope will bring new security and peace to Afghanistan.
Islam khidmat kana. Khidmat bakhsh gharib ko. Azi khush. Yani چه قسم خدمت کنید؟ خدمت به ملت دیگه. ملت ناتوان است نه. خاطر از نفری خوب است. دائم خدمت کرده. دمی جواد کو چی قدم یک جای بوده. خاطر ما خوش هستیم که میشه.
While many campaign events have features like signs and banners that are familiar to most democracies, Afghans add their own distinct mark to the process.
Since we arrived more than an hour ago, hundreds and hundreds of men have continued to pour in. It's led to an almost communal and carnival atmosphere here, with men washing themselves down by the river in preparation for prayer, and others, hundreds and hundreds more, gathered up by the road, waving flags, singing, and waiting for their candidate.
When a free lunch is served, it becomes a mad scramble to grab the pieces of flatbread and chunks of beef thrown from trucks. Thanks to a local Afghan journalist, we got ours the easy way. With the recent wave of violence attributed to the Taliban, who have vowed to disrupt the election, security is tight. But that doesn't stop the crowds from surging past police and surrounding Abdullah when he arrives riding on top of his armored SUV. Like most of the other candidates, Abdullah promises supporters a better economy and a more secure future. Whether any of them can deliver in the face of a stubborn insurgency and rampant corruption remains to be seen.
All these Afghans waited up to 4 hours to see the candidate of their choice. The question as they head home tonight is whether they'll turn out in the same numbers on election day.
طبعا یک کشوری که کشورهایی که هر کسی که بخواد به طرف دموکراسی بره، به طرف آزادی بره، به طرف ترقی و تعالی بره، این رای دادن رای یک چیز بسیار مهمی است که هر کس، هر فرد جامعه که در قانون اساسی افغانستان گنجانیده شده که بالای سن 18 میتونه که رای بده، میتونه خود کاندید بکنه. بنابراین ما رای خود دیروز به مثابه صلاح سرزمین خود دفاع میکنیم، امروز به مثابه رای خود از سرزمین خود دفاع میکنیم. این رای است که ما را نجات میده از بحران‌ها.
When I sit down with Abdullah at his posh home on the banks of the Panjshir River, he says one of his priorities would be to undo the damage that he believes current President Hamid Karzai has done to the relationship between Afghanistan and its international backers.
think it will be back on the right footing. Recently, it's not just recently, in the past few years, we have missed some opportunities because of hiccups in our relations in the region as well as with the international community as a whole. And also there is the issue of signing of bilateral security agreement, which is a big obstacle at the moment. And that has to be removed. I mean, signing of it is necessary for Afghanistan, and we need it, and that should be done as soon as possible.
Back in Kabul, another leading contender named Ashraf Ghani holds a rally in the same sports stadium once infamously used by the Taliban for public executions. Today it's a scene of jubilant crowds, including women, cheering their candidate in what may be the first democratic transfer of power in Afghanistan's history.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. امروز جای افتخار بزرگ است برای ملت آزاده که با آزادگی آینده خود می‌سازد.
The threat of violence and corruption hangs daily over this war-torn nation, but on the streets of Afghanistan's major cities there is undeniable enthusiasm for the young democracy as it selects a leader who will help define this period of transition. For Stars and Stripes in Kabul, I'm Josh Smith.
Election is very important for every person. I want to every person share an election because it's very important for my country. Because it's very, very, very important. I want every person to share an election because it's very important for my country. I love you, country. I love you.